What if the quiet that descends on you this Christmas isn't a sign of something broken, but the sound of something finally becoming whole? This time of year comes wrapped in expectations of joy, connection, of miracles, hovering just like the scent of pine and cinnamon. But for you in the silent center of your twin flame journey, it can feel like standing perfectly still in the middle of a bustling, glittering party. Everyone else is reaching for another cookie, laughing at a shared memory, leaning into the warmth. And you feel a strange, unexpected calm settling in your bones. Not the sadness you've braced for, not the acute loneliness of seasons past. It's something else entirely, a deep, resonant stillness that seems to mute the frantic internal narration you've grown so used to, the one that constantly whispers, when, how, why not yet? This isn't your spirit giving up. This is your soul sitting down. It's as if after years of running a marathon through an emotional obstacle course, you've rounded a corner and found a quiet bench in a sun-dappled clearing. And instead of guilt, you feel a wave of permission. The chase, the deciphering, the emotional gymnastics of holding a space for two when only one is consistently showing up. It just stops making sense. The festive season, with its uncompromising focus on tangible togetherness, acts like a truth serum. It doesn't create the emptiness. It simply turns up the lights so you can see the room you're actually in. And you look around and realize you've been waiting in an echo chamber, mistaking the sound of your own hopeful heart for the footsteps of another. That familiar ache you've carried like a locket close to your chest. It's not gone. It's been transformed. The weight has been alchemized into a kind of wisdom, a knowing that feels solid in your gut. The yearning softens into observation. You find yourself less interested in decoding his silence and more interested in listening to the quality of your own. And in that silence, you might hear the most important voice you've missed, your own, clear and sure, no longer layered over with interpretation or hope. It's the voice that says, I am here. And suddenly, that is enough. It's more than enough. It's the foundation of everything. This Christmas calm is the universe's way of handing you the ultimate gift, the unshakable, slightly terrifying, and utterly liberating realization that you are complete right now as you are. The story doesn't end here. It simply stops being about waiting for someone else to turn the page. Your hand is on the paper, the pen is in your hand, and the next line, it's yours to write. You know that feeling, don't you? That constant low-grade hum of attention you send out into the ether, like a lighthouse beam sweeping an empty sea, not just looking for a ship, but keeping the sea itself lit up in case one might appear. For years, maybe, you've been that lighthouse. Your emotional energy, your hopeful interpretations, your patient space holding. It's all been a form of leaning forward. You've been energetically hunched over this connection, filling in the silences with meaning, painting presence onto absence with the careful brushstrokes of your understanding. It's exhausting work, but you called it devotion. You thought the leaning was the love. But then Christmas rolls around, and something in the crisp, expectant air of it all, the way it demands present tense joy, real hugs, real laughter around a real table, something in that frequency trips a silent switch within you. It's not a dramatic blowout, it's a quiet powering down. You straighten up, you stop leaning. And here is the mystery, the beautiful, terrifying magic of it. When you stop leaning, the entire landscape changes. What you're entering isn't withdrawal, not in the petty, punitive sense. It's energetic neutrality. Think of it as the emotional equivalent of that pristine, heavy silence right after a snowfall, a blanketing quiet that doesn't judge, doesn't beg, doesn't hope. It just is. It's the state your nervous system defaults to when it finally, blessedly gets the memo that it's been doing two people's jobs. Let's get practical for a second. What does this neutrality do? It stops compensating. Imagine you've been holding one end of a taut, invisible emotional rope for an eternity, your arms aching, believing someone is holding the other end in the fog. The strain was the proof of the connection. Then, in a moment of sheer fatigue, you simply loosen your grip, not drop it, not throw it, just let it go slack, and you watch. Does the rope stay taut? Does it move? Or does it simply fall, lifeless, to the ground? Your neutrality isn't cutting the rope. It's releasing the tension to see if there was ever any genuine pull from the other side. You're no longer providing the force that made the illusion of connection feel real. This is why he might feel a sudden, puzzling distance. He's not feeling your absence. He's feeling the absence of your compensatory energy. The background radiation of your hope that he's been unconsciously relying on has faded. The free emotional labor he didn't even know you were providing has clocked off, and now he's standing in the quiet of what's actually there, just as you are. It's the ultimate truth serum, delivered not by a confrontation, but by a cessation. This isn't spiritual bypassing or cold detachment. Oh no, it's the deepest kind of engagement with reality itself. It's you saying with your entire energetic field, I am here, fully, completely here in my own life, in this present moment. If you are here too, in that same truth, we will meet. If you are not, then we simply won't. The begging, the scheduling, the decoding of breadcrumbs, it all falls away like a worn-out coat. You're finally willing to be a little bit bored by the drama. You'd rather have the simple, unsexy truth than the exhilarating, soul-sucking fantasy. It's like trading a thrilling, plot-hole-ridden TV series for the profound, quiet novel of your own actual life. And the wildest part? This neutrality is where your true power regenerates. All that energy you were spending on leaning, it floods back into your center. You might start noticing colors are brighter. You might suddenly take up pottery, or actually read that book, or laugh with a friend without a fraction of your mind being elsewhere. You are reclaiming your own psychic bandwidth. You're no longer a satellite dish perpetually tuned to one distant, staticky signal. You've become a whole broadcasting station, emitting your own calm, clear frequency. And from this place, you'll attract only what can truly resonate with that. No more static, no more ghosts. So if you're in that silent, snow-blanketed field of neutrality this season, don't panic. You're not lost. You're not given up. You've simply come home to your own ground zero. And from this still point, everything that happens next will be real. Which, honestly, makes you wonder, what astonishingly real thing might finally walk towards you now that you're no longer running toward it? but that beautiful soul is a revelation for another day. Let's talk about time. Not clock time, not calendar time, but your time. The internal metronome that ticks to the beat of your own aliveness. You know the one. It's the rhythm you abandoned way back when because you heard another song, his song, the Twin Flame Symphony, and you tried so desperately to sync your beat to its distant, elusive melody. You became a master of pause, of holding your breath in the verse so you might exhale together in the chorus. You learned to stutter step, to hesitate, to keep your life perpetually in parentheses. Akyam, once things settle, when he's ready, after the awakening. Here's the raw, rarely spoken truth of it. The twin flame journey, in its chaotic phase, is often a theft of tempo. You surrender your rhythm for the dizzying, addictive hope of a future duet. Your loyalty isn't to love, not really. It's to synchronization. And you wait for that click, that magical alignment, like a dancer frozen mid-pirouette, waiting for a partner who never quite enters from the wings. Your muscles ache from the suspension. Your soul grows tired of the unresolved chord. Then comes Christmas. And what is Christmas in its essence but a massive cultural emphasis on present tense rhythm? It's cooking in a warm kitchen now. It's laughter echoing in a room tonight. It's not about potential joy. It's about the embodied, rhythmic practice of it. And in the stark contrast between that vibrant, collective pulse and the silent, suspended animation of your waiting, something within you cracks open, not with a sob, but with a sigh of profound recognition. It's the moment your inner conductor, tired of waiting for a ghost musician, simply turns, faces your own orchestra, and raises the baton for you. This is the mystery of sovereignty over synchronization. It's the decision that your own song is too precious to leave unsung. Think of it this way. You've been trying to harmonize with a recording that keeps skipping. You adjust your pitch. You delay your note. You contort your voice to match the jagged, broken sound, thinking this is the sacred work. But the work is actually turning off the damaged record, sitting in the sudden silence, and then hearing, for the first time in years, the pure, clear tone of your own voice. It was there all along, underneath the static of hope. It was humming. This isn't about slamming doors or burning bridges. It's far more subtle and more powerful. It's about finally filling your own space with the furniture of your own life, instead of keeping it empty as a staging ground for a future that may not arrive. You start making plans based on your own curiosity, not on hypothetical windows of availability. You buy the ticket for the trip you want to take. You eat what you crave at 7 p.m., not at the ambiguous later that once held the ghost of a shared meal. This is sacred selfishness. It's not the kind that harms. It's the kind that heals by completing the circuit of your own energy. You stop being a satellite in his orbit and become your own damn sun, with a gravity all your own. And the beautiful, ironic alchemy. This is what makes real union possible. A duet requires two complete, confident rhythms, meeting and intertwining, not one full song desperately trying to patch the holes in another. By committing to your tempo, you stop emitting the frequency of waiting and start emitting the frequency of living. And that, believe me, is a far more magnetic signal. You become a grounded, whole note in a world of anxious, questioning arpeggios. He may not understand it cognitively. He'll just feel the shift. The psychic umbilical cord of your patient waiting has been gently, irrevocably severed. Now, if he moves toward you, it won't be because you lured him with your pause. It will be because he's drawn, authentically, to the compelling music of a life being fully lived. So if this season finds you finally listening to that inner metronome, if you're feeling a strange new impulse to plant a garden that won't bloom for a season you can't predict, or to finally learn the guitar that's been gathering dust, don't dismiss it as distraction. That's your sovereignty whispering. It's you picking up the instrument of your own destiny and playing it, loudly, off-key at first maybe, but joyfully. You are ending the silent audition for a role in his story and starting the first messy, glorious draft of your own. You are coming home to your own timing. And in that rhythm, the simple, sacred rhythm of your own breath, your own steps, your own heart, you will find a peace so deep that it makes the frantic chase for synchronicity feel like a childish game. You're playing a different game now. The music is richer here, and honestly, the dance floor is all yours. But isn't it funny how, when you're finally dancing for the sheer joy of it, that's when the right partner always seems to find their way to your side. So here you are, after the quiet revelation, after the neutrality that felt like a blank page, after you started humming your own tune in the kitchen just because you wanted to. It might feel suspiciously simple. Where's the aching? Where's the grand sign? You've been braced for a thunderclap, and instead, you're met with a profound, spreading silence, the kind that settles over a landscape after a long, tumultuous storm has finally passed out to sea. This, beautiful soul, is not an anticlimax. This is the destination you never knew you were seeking. This feeling of being emotionally complete isn't the death of your epic love story. It's the moment you finally step out of the prologue and into the actual text of your life. The search is over because you have been found by yourself. Think of it as an internal shift from archaeology to architecture. For so long, you've been the archaeologist of this connection, dusting off fragments, piecing together pottery shards of past moments and potential futures, trying to reconstruct an entire civilization from a few scattered bricks. It was meaningful, sacred work. But Christmas, in its stubborn, present tense joy, asks you to lift your head from the dig site, and you see it. The sun is shining on a fresh, empty plot of land right here, right now. You're being invited, quite suddenly, to become an architect, to build a dwelling for your spirit not on the foundations of what was or might be, but on the solid, unchanging bedrock of what is. And what is you, alive, here, breathing, capable of joy that doesn't require a historical artifact to validate it. This completion is the ultimate upgrade to your inner operating system. You're no longer running on the software of Waiting.x or Interpretation Suite. Those programs have closed themselves down. You're now operating on a simpler, far more powerful platform, Presence.os. It doesn't have flashy graphics or dramatic notifications. Its interface is calm. Its primary function is to experience reality as it unfolds, without constantly cross-referencing it with a library of old hopes. You'll notice it in the strangest places. You'll taste your coffee and actually taste it. The bitter, the nutty, the warmth, instead of drinking it while mentally rehearsing a conversation that hasn't happened. You'll hear a friend's story and just listen without a part of your mind metaphorically checking its phone for a different message. You are, for the first time in a long time, occupying your own experience fully. It's the most luxurious homecoming, and it happens in the most mundane moments. And let's be wildly clear about what this means for the fabled union. The chasing, the strategic hoping, the emotional cartography you used to navigate his inner world. That was all the journey towards something. This completion. This is the arrival at something. You have arrived at your own wholeness. From this vantage point, union is no longer a rescue mission or a prize to be won. It transforms. It becomes a potential celebration, a gracious alignment between two complete, self-sourced realities. Or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, the lack of it no longer creates a void in you, because you've discovered your own landscape is so rich, so verdant, so interesting, that it simply doesn't have a missing piece shaped whole anymore. You're not a puzzle, you're a painting, entire, signed, valuable as is. This is the secret they don't shout about in spiritual circles. The twin flame journey's most profound gift is often the return of yourself to yourself. The mirror wasn't meant to trap you in endless reflection. It was meant to show you your own strength, your own depth, your own incredible capacity for love so vast it could outlast an absence, until it wisely, lovingly chose to pour that ocean back into its own shores. You haven't lost a thing. You've integrated an ocean. So walk this new ground. It's yours. The air here is clear. The view is real. And the love you once sent outward like a desperate, beautiful signal flare has now turned into a steady, warm, internal sun, sustaining, nurturing, and quietly illuminating a path that is uniquely, unshakably yours. You built this. With every hard choice to honor your silence, every act of self-kindness that felt like a rebellion against waiting, you laid these bricks. Now inhabit the sanctuary. Light a fire in its hearth. The journey didn't end. It finally brought you home. And a home that solid, darling soul can weather any season, even and especially the quiet ones.